Hey friends, this is Reverend Jerry, the People's Priest, aka Father Jerry, and I'm coming to you today with a Good Friday 2022 message. Yesterday we celebrated the Feast of Holy Thursday, and we discussed the beautiful magic and power of downward mobility and kenosis, the stepping off of our bastions of power and prestige and privilege so that we might be in the common level and discover the truth of who we really are, servants and practitioners of this thing that we call life, faith, discipleship. And in so doing, this practice of downward mobility, we discover the truth of what it means to be communion and community, ultimately manifesting as solidarity. And today on Good Friday, we commemorate the passing of Christ on the cross. And I want to share this word with you of the word of the good thief on the cross. When Christ was on the cross with the two other individuals who were crucified along with him, Dismas, tradition says this man's name is Dismas, spoke to him in rebuttal to the other man whose name I'm not sure is known. The other man was shaming Jesus and saying, if you really were who you said you are, you could get us all off of this cross. You could have stopped all of this. You could have changed all of this. We would not have been humiliated. We would not have been in pain. We would not be up here agonizing. Um, and Dismas rebuttals him, tells him to be quiet, and says, we deserve to be here, but he is a just man. He is a good man. He has not done anything wrong. And he looks to him and says, remember me when you come into your kingdom. And Jesus proclaims to him, today you will be with me in paradise. I have always found that experience to be quite a radical way of behaving. Christ embodied a revolutionary nonviolence. Nonviolence means he was opposed to all harm. And I think this experience on the cross embodies the depth of the radical grace that nonviolence is. Dismas says, remember me when you enter into your kingdom. Remember me when you enter into your kingdom. And I think really that was a request from Dismas that a lot of us have as well. We long to be remembered. We long to be included. And also too, I think the other thief, his anger, I think is very relatable as well. Many of us who feel oftentimes like life has done things to us that we don't deserve, like other people have done things to us that we don't deserve. And that if Christ really was Christ, and if God was really God, that God would snap God's fingers and all will be well, and we would never have to go through trial. But I think what really happens, the real message of this experience, this exchange on the crosses, is that the response of Dismas calling forth and saying, yes, you are angry. Yes, we have done things that are wrong. And yes, we probably should be here. But remember your humanity. Remember that some people in this unjust society that we have created are put into places where they don't need to be. And you can extend a little bit of grace to them. And you do that by pushing away all of those barriers that we create, all of those hyperboles, all those superficiality that we build up to keep us away from each other. And you bond over your common humanity, over the common shared human desire of belonging, of being included. And can you extend that level of radical grace that even when you are in the midst of immense pain and immense trial and immense tribulation and suffering, can you say you're human too? You want to be included too. You want to be loved too. You want to belong too. And extend grace and say, I see you. I love you. I appreciate you. Will you remember me? Will you remember me? When you enter into your paradise, when you enter into your level of success, when you enter into your healing, when you enter into your victory, will you remember me? And can you welcome that person in and say, come with me into paradise, come with me into healing, come with me into liberation? Because ultimately, the message of Christianity is this, that even the most violent, the most wretched, the most cruel ways that humans treat each other, grace can always abound if we so choose. That doesn't mean that, if you just have positive thoughts about the trials that you're going through, that they will disappear. I am not one to say that. I believe in the power of positive thinking. I believe in the power of speaking positive words and blessing and affirmation as part of the process of healing and the process of bearing the load that you have to carry. But shadows will fall upon your life, and there will be times where you are called to be on the cross and to suffer, not for the sake of just suffering, but to suffer for the sake of allowing yourself to be broken open so that you might have an opportunity to extend this radical grace of common humanness and welcome each other into healing, liberation, salvation, because ultimately salvation only comes through solidarity. So that's the first word I want to give you is and learn to extend even in the midst of your trial, even in the midst of this global pandemic, a little bit of grace by pushing away all of those fictitious barriers that we create around each other and bond over our common human desire of love, inclusion, belonging. The other thing I want to tell you is act it out. It is already done. The work of salvation has already been done. Christ died on the cross and brought salvation to each one of us, past, present, and future. It's already done. It is our job now to act it out, to act as if we are saved, act as if we are liberated, act as if we are whole, because it's already done. We do not need to get back onto the cross. There are times where suffering happens in our life, and it may feel like a cross, and we are called to carry a cross. But we are not doing it because we are saviors. The salvation has already been done. It has already been bought and purchased for us, and it is ours. And we are inheritance of salvation and liberation. Now it's our turn to walk into our societies and say, it is already done. The world is already whole. The cosmos are always designed to return to homeostasis, right order. Now we must act like it. So in your life, where do you need to act like you are already saved, you are already liberated, you are already free? And start acting like it. Make it so. And you do that by going back to the first part and sharing in those common human bonds. Because that's where salvation is made real. Extend the grace. Bond in your common humanness. And discover that it is already done. The miracle has already taken place. The fruits of liberation are already here among us. We just got to act it out, and we have to remind the society the public forum that it is so. And start questioning and interrogating those places where salvation is not being manifested, where liberation is not coming forth. Because there are places in our societies where people are still suffering and they are not living as liberated people. So we must liberate each other and set each other free. And we do that by acting this out, saying, I am liberated, I am saved, it is already done. And we make that real through our common human bonds. So do that this week, every day, all year long, and our societies will be transformed. And like the lotus that grows in mud, the more mud there is, the more the lotus grows and blooms. And eventually we discover here and now, salvation has already come. Amen. Remember, dear friends, that life is short. We do not have much time to gladden the hearts of those who journey with us. So be swift to love, make haste to be kind. And this day and every day, remember, salvation and liberation are already done. So act like it by joining together in our common human bonds of love, inclusion, belonging. Amen. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share with all your friends this video. All links to the People's Priest can be found below, including the People's Priest shop, where you can get Be Swift to Love and Make Haste to Be Kind merchandise, as well as the Monday Musings book, which is a collection of short teachings and practical spirituality. And also you can find the People's Priest podcast anywhere you get your podcast, and every Monday at 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, the Monday Musings come out, and which hopefully will be beautiful healing medicine for you as you begin to practice salvation already being done. All right, thank you. Have a great Holy Week. Talk to you soon. Bye now.